Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear. I come not to bury Joomla 3, but to praise it. Or at least give thanks for it. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to Watch Me Work live stream number 217 here on the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel, where I show you my favorite extensions, tools, and tips for building and maintaining Joomla sites. I also work on Joomla sites, build them, maintain them, migrate them to Joomla 4. So if you're looking to hire someone short-term or long-term, or even just to get you out of a spot, send me an email, tim@cybersalt.com, and let's talk. Okay, hey, look, guess what? I have a picture here from Ivor this week. Another one, a wintry one. Ivor, who is that person walking in the picture? Yeah, if you want to supply a picture for the background of a Watch and Work live stream, send me a picture. If you can, if it's 1920 by 1080, that would be great. Otherwise, I can try to resize and do my way. That is Ivor's wife. Hello to everyone in chat. Ivor, Mary, Rudiger, and anyone else who's going to be popping in here. Now, listen, hey, today's video is brought to you by our channel sponsor, mysites.guru. Do you have a Joomla site? Of course you do. Head on over to mysites.guru, get a free site audit for it, and while you're there, check out all the tools and information that will save you time and money managing one or multiple Joomla sites. Okay, and use the coupon code BASICJoomla. You get your first month free. I think you get the first month free anyways. I always say that every week, but that's okay. I need some new ad copy, I guess, or something like that. All right, so let's switch back to here. Today, August the 16th, 2023, is the last day before Joomla 3 reaches its end of life. Now, some people out there are panicking, thinking or concerned that their website is going to stop working tomorrow, and that's not the case. End of life just means there's not going to be any new development of Joomla 3, and there'll probably, I don't know if there will even be security updates, although who knows, maybe there might be some big thing that comes along. And there is ongoing support for Joomla 3 too, and that's something you can get through mysites.guru as well if something comes up down the road. But anyway, so if you're on Joomla 3 and you haven't migrated to Joomla 4, like many of my sites are not migrated yet, it's okay. As I said before in the past, it's like the expiry date on milk. If your milk expires tonight, tomorrow morning, are you going to throw it out? No, you're going to give it a sniff and put it on your cereal if you think everything is good, especially with the price of groceries these days. So, Joomla 3 is end of life, but it's going to, there's still people running 1.5 and 2.5. They shouldn't, because those are very hackable. But Joomla 3 will continue, and we've seen here on the channel lots of reasons to migrate to Joomla 4 for its speed, accessibility, and other things. And as we'll see today, we're still in early days for Joomla 4. It's been out for 2 years, and what are we at? Joomla 4.3. There was a time where Joomla 3 was just out, and it came a long way. And so actually my purpose today, I thought, since this is one day left before its end of life, is that we would just take a look back and see how Joomla 3 developed over the years. And so let's do that. Let's turn our attention to the screen here. Studio settings. Oh, let's see. Did that. All right, here I am down the corner. Now, I'm going to paste a link in a second where we can look at the history of all the Joomla versions. But I thought it'd be fun just to take a look. What did we have before Joomla 3? We had Joomla 2.5. So I installed Joomla 2.5 today. I had to step down to PHP 5.6 for that particular folder. Hello, Carl. Good to see you today. And so this is what we were rocking before Joomla 3. And this is what the back end looked like. And if you went in to edit an article, I've timed out here. That's okay. I've got to log in there. Oh, you're kidding me. You are kidding me. This is, sorry, that's not even the one I want to do. Oh, I see what happened. All right, I need to do this because I have the password in my... Oh, let's see here. All right. Okay. I've got the password here. Do that. Note. Oh my goodness. The wrong password got saved here. Let's go here. Yeah, right. That. Okay, there. I managed to log in. I'll have to change that later on. There we go. Hello, Michael and Bjorn. Bjorn says he finally got his sites updated to PHP 8.2 yesterday, getting ready for Joomla 5. Wow. Wow, you're a keener. Yes, Michael, hello. To everyone in chat there. Now, all right, so this is what we were rocking before Joomla 2.5. If you went into edit an article, this is what you got. Notice there's things not here, and we will see them show up in Joomla 3. All right, and so let us do this. There's Joomla 3 right there, with the core, with the sample info inserted, and of course we know what it looks like in the back end. But here is the link that we're going to check out today for our little retrospective. I'll paste that in chat. And this is a list of all the Joomla CMS versions. And along the way here, it's going to be kind of easy to see what's new, and it's also going to be hard to see what's new. So as always, I'm going to count on all of you to help as we navigate things along. We look at the history of Joomla here. These are end-of-life dates, all right? So Joomla 1, end-of-life, July 22nd, 2009. 1.5, end-of-life, September 2012. 1.6, August 2011, February 12th for 1.7, 2.5, end of life as of December 31st, 2004. Then here we have Joomla 3. It was end of life May of 2013, but came out sooner than that. And we are just going to click on this link, and we will look at the history that came out there. Hello, Imran. Good to see you. Bjorn says, not good memories with 2.5. Yes, but we love 2.5 was an improvement. And yeah, so but yeah, Joomla 3 is certainly kicking it. Imran's been working since 1.6. All right, so what I thought I would do is we'll just look at the first release, because I think the numbers going up right after the first decimal, the first version, so 3.1 would have a new thing. So we go to Joomla 3.0 and look at the release notes. What was new and that we were all excited about? We would incorporation of let's see. Joomla project pleased to announce immediate release of Joomla 3.0. Standard term. What is new? What is status? What are the new features? Incorporation of Twitter Bootstrap. A new responsive mobile device friendly administrator template, a new front-end template, Protostar, updated accessible template called Bees 3. Michael has no knowledge of 2.5. He started with Joomla 3 about 9 years ago. Cool. We can go down and look through some things here. Also, there was something when I took a quick look at this last night. There was a big thing that came out in Joomla 3, and it was, what was it? Oh, come on. There must be, when did you know? And it was right there. Release notes. Let's see. Release notes. Huh. I think that tags came out in version 3. Almost sure that I read that. I must have misread that somewhere. I thought it was right number one thing here. Let's search on this page here. Tags. Tags does not appear. Yeah, and J3 came with Bootstrap. That's right, Imran. Improvements in Smart Search. Let the SEF plugin add the canonical URL to the head. Updated Tiny MCE. New administrator statistics module. Saving blank articles allowed. guest user group present by default. Rudiger started with 1.5.8, if he remembers correctly. So yeah, a while ago. And MooTools was slowly going out, Imran says. Let's see. Release notes. Let's just check this. How to update. No. When did tags come along? I'm sure I read this. Well, we'll just have to take a peek at things. Anyways, so Joomla 3 came out with a bunch of stuff and things that we just take for granted. Like, hey, Protostar. I was probably like, what is the name of that new one? Bees 3. Bees 3 is being kind of updated. I just was looking at someone's site the other day that was using Bees 3 for their template in Joomla 3. Installation of language packages directly from the extension manager. And then, of course, cleaning up older code and things like that. All right. I am pretty sure that I thought for sure tags was in here. Let's take a peek here at the release notes for 3.0.1. Maybe that came along. 3. If you plan to update from 3.0.0 to 3.0.1, you need to install the Joomla 3.0 hot patch before doing that, and it's not required if you're updating from version 2.5. All right, what else have we got here? New features allow different update packages for different version dev levels. And then we have a lot of tracker issues fixed here before that. So, all right, well, that's 3.0. Let's check out 3.1 release notes. All right. Click on here. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Yes, I want to go back here to 3.1. And we'll look here. Okay, Joomla 3 introduced tags in its 3.1 release. Okay. Let's go down and see 3.1 release notes. So I wasn't going crazy. I did see that. What are the new features of Joomla 3.1? And there we have it right there. Tags. Click here to see a recent blog post about it. Tags was, of course, a solution to something that you couldn't do in Joomla before, and that was, and still can't do, and that was assign articles to multiple categories, and that was something that a lot of people really wanted to do, and I would have liked to have done too. So if you have a dog page and it's also a blue dog, you want to have it assigned so people can see dog pages or blue dog pages. You couldn't do that. With tags, you can, and tags are great. Now, having said that, tags were kind of awkward in their router and their URLs, and that is something that is taken care of in Joomla 4. But tags are really great because you can assign, you have one article assigned to the dogs category, but you can create tags, blue dog, big dog, dog articles, and you don't want to go too crazy. You want to make sense. But the great thing about tags is that you then can have areas on your site where someone clicks on that tag, you can see all of the articles that are for blue dogs. And not only is that a great way for grouping things, but it also, Google does not penalize you for having a page that's like that. Google doesn't see that as duplicate content. So when you add an article to your dogs category and then tag it blue dogs, or even create a new tag, you're creating another page and your content is there to be found. Michael says, seem to remember menu headers around that time. Interesting. We'll see if that comes up in the list. Which version of Joomla introduced menu upon tag? Oh, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Let me get a drink of water here. My voice is a bit croaky. Excuse me. All right. Here's an article about tags component. We know about it. But that is a great addition. You know, we can look back at times in Joomla when there were big things that were added that was like, oh, this is a great new shiny feature and we like it. Ivor says Joomla 3.4 introduced the menu upon tag feature. So we're going to see that coming up. All right. So tags, and then added a note form field, show logs in debug console, refactor installation to use application and MVC classes, add pagination in com search component, add triggers for on save for com config, JPlugin autoload language property, added SQL Server subclass, media wiki package, OpenStreetMap package, Union All feature. And what are the other features? Some more things: incorporation of Twitter Bootstrap, new responsive administrator template, ISIS. Oh, and this is for the Joomla 3 series. Oh, it allowed you to create menus that are based on tags. Oh, how about that? Okay, cool. All right, I get it now. All right, yeah, so, all right. Well, I forgot that. You could have tags, but there's no way to link to the page to make a menu link to send people to that. They'd have to click on a tag. Yeah, all right. So that was an exciting thing from 3.1. All right, so let's go back here. Now I'm going to close some of these other things, otherwise we're going to have far too many tabs here, of course. 3.2, it was end of life October 2014 with a note, but let's see our 3.2 version. All right, release notes for 3.2. Now these release notes, this reads almost like in some of these release notes, instead of showing what the big things are, they just show things that were addressed. And so it was probably very much of a maintenance thing. Ordering categories with integers doesn't work. That was fixed. Menu types view not sorted alphabetically. Lots of checked item in user registration backend. Oh, lots of checked item in user registration backend. Addition of notification in media manager regarding folder name for create folder. So a lot of little practical things in Joomla 3.2. Clean up and fixes for the admin menu. Featured articles menu item error. Missing error message in single article menu item. So, oh boy, there's a lot of work done on this. And that's what I said. You know, I'm grateful for Joomla 3, and this is a look back to see how it developed. But actually, of course, it's a look back to see how it was developed, because it didn't. This is not a tree growing out in the forest or in a field. This is all a result of a lot of work by a lot of people. So lots of things fixed here. In fact, if we go to 100 per page here, we can see that there were 500, well, 400 and whatever breaks into the 500 things fixed there for Joomla 3.2. So that was excellent. That's a big thing. Beast3 login form, two-factor authentication, language file. So lots of things tidied up there. All right, so that's 3.2. Let us go back and let's check out 3.3. Joomla 3.3. Down here, release notes. More fixes. In fact, let's see. Let's go to 100. And we have 100 and a bunch of fixes. So just not 200. More bug fixes. And here we go. Yeah. Google Summer of Code 2013. Removing Mood Tools dependencies from validation. Removing Mood Tools dependencies from core. Yeah, so Imran mentioned there that Mood Tools was slowly going out. And so a bunch of work was done in this version that was done to remove Mood Tools. And the Google Summer of Code, that's when Google sponsors, gives money to open source projects to for students to learn and have a mentorship, and then that code can end up in the open source part. And so that removing Mood Tools was one of those things. Optimizations for the JRoute and JRouter. Right to left issue when using Firefox. So a bunch of removing hard-coded spaces and tags layout. Fix issue in legacy routing. Unwanted white space in system message div when empty. Okay. Postgres stuff. On content prepared. Tags issue. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff to be fixed there. All right. What else do we have here? Front-end scheduled articles are showing up on contacts articles page. Okay. The admin mod custom doesn't display images in the cPanel. So more fixes. All right, that's 3.3. Let's go to 3.4. Release notes. Oh, it says due to the shift from Joomla code to the Joomla issue tracker as our issue tracking platform, a consolidated list of tracker issues is not available. Let's see if they say anything here. Oh, there we go. So not much for us to look there. Update to replace previous solution. Update. So some stuff there. Nothing big out that we can see that's in a release note there. At least that we can read. All right. That's 3.3.4. We'll go back. 3.4. Now we've got eight versions of 3.4. And we will go to release notes for it. And, oh, so here's a lot more fixing. Fixing JDebug, site template posts, update copyright to 2015. Yeah. A bunch of things. Oh, we got 31 pages there. How many are showing per page here? And this is just showing in the GitHub, so there's not really an announcement, but lots and lots and lots. 31 times, however many are showing on a page here. Oh, and then they've got some things that are tagged as feature. If we click on that, does it take us to the individual one? Or is that a tag? Oh, maybe here's some features from this. Port the no CAPTCHA implementation of reCAPTCHA. Add minimum stability feature in Joomla extensions update. Get the maximum upload file size. Unify the way Joomla handles alias for articles. Oh, that's good. Allow relative URLs for links ABC in articles. Oh, that's a big thing. Cool. Good feature. Allow setting of HTTP status code. Allow skins in tiny MCE. Add collapsible sidebar. Feature JImage filter background fill. Post installation messages extension dropdown. Make intro image link to article. Add support for PDO-based connections. SQL optimize. Category image does not come with an alt attribute. All right, so give that. That's a feature. Added custom logo and background color gradient for login area and ISIS template. Okay, so you can start to customize the ISIS template there. Nested submenus for top menu in Protostar. Ah, okay, that's a cool thing. Automatic loading of all templates. Batch process to add URLs and redirect component. Introducing unit tests for core app router class. Front-end module editing. Oh, now there's a big jump there too. Excellent. And that was in 3.4. Now we'll watch for the features thing before. I wonder if we just step back for a second to Joomla 3.3 and we go to the release notes. Oh, that's the one that there wasn't anything for that? No. There doesn't show anything for features there, so all right. Hey, we look at 3.4. 3.5. Oh, look at it. There's a 3.5 and a 3.51. Released in March 21st, 2016. And 3.5.1. Hey, I have a vague memory. Why was this so quick? Wonder why it was so quick. Let's see the announcement. Now we're seeing some of our past advertising too. Introducing 34 new features, including support for the recently released PHP 7. Whoa! All right, so support for PHP 7. And 34 new features. Let's see what they are. If there's a list here. To have a full list of features, visit our GitHub repository. And there's nothing there. They're all closed. Good. Let's just see these labels. Oh, here's feature. This is feature, but is it for just 3.5 or all of them? No, this is all features what's open. All right, so looks like for 3.5 we're not going to get much. Oh, here's a bit of a reading. Okay, so Joomla's new email update. Okay, this version of Joomla supports most recent version of PHP. PHP 7 is recently announced with significant performance improvements available by use of general public. With Joomla 3.5 users can now enjoy the benefit of that performance improvement. Joomla's new email update notification plugin periodically checks for available Joomla updates and bug fixes, then emails administrators. Okay, cool. So that's that came in 3.5. 3.5's new statistics collection plugin gathers the system environment in use. The raw data is collected and is anonymized before transmission and sent to Joomla, and is available at stats. We should check that out in a little bit. Let's check out those stats later on. All right. So, in addition to the features mentioned above, the highlights of 3.5 release include download system and environment information. Gives users the option to download system environment information for support purposes. Okay. That's if you're in the Joomla forum and they ask you to run that. You can download, there's something you can run, you can post everything in the environment, and the smart people can look and tell you maybe what's going on. Ability to add a user CSS file to Protostar. Wow. How did we ever live without customizing Protostar with a user CSS? Currently, it is impossible to use a custom CSS file when using the Protostar template. This update adds a check to see if the file user.css exists and loads the file to allow for user customization. Wow. Now, I did not know that did not come along till 3.5. Maybe I didn't know that because I don't really do a lot of sites in Protostar, but isn't that interesting that for half of the versions in Joomla, or at least 4/10 of them, you couldn't custom. There was no custom CSS. You probably had to do it manually in Protostar. Added site and admin links to module user. Add switches to the mod status module to show hide links to the front end and back end of the site. Okay. Added site and admin links to module user. Okay. Mod status module. Added site and admin links to the module user. What is the module user? Switches to the mod status module to show hide links to the front end and back end of the site. Right? Random category blog and list order. This update answers a common user request to add a random ordering option for articles in the blog category and category list. That's so if you wanted to just shake things up and you want random ordering, that's when that showed up. Cool. You know, it's fun to look at this, and I think fundamentally, one of the benefits of choosing to look back and be grateful for things is it gives you in the moment something that you can be happy and thankful for, and that can cause joy inside of us because all of these things, they're in Joomla 4, and because they were done in Joomla 3, and we can remember a time when you could not select random ordering for a blog or category. People want, hey, let's just put something random up there. That's pretty cool. That's when it showed up. Editor buttons added to the toolbar. You no longer need to scroll down the page to find the read more or insert image buttons. Editor extension buttons that used to be placed below the text area can now be found in the toolbar where they belong. Aha! No more having, oh, read more. Oh, I gotta go down here. Oh, insert image. Oh, I gotta go down here. They made buttons. Nice. Easily insert modules and articles. Allows users to easily add a module into an article with a button directly on the editor toolbar. Now that, actually, I think that button is still below. Users don't need to learn any syntax or remember the module details as the user interface does it for them. Nice. So, Joomla 3.5, we could just put in, we could insert a module into an article and it would just work. Now, I don't remember, is that in, could you do that with regular labs, which maybe back then was no number. I forget when Peter switched. But you can do that with advanced modules anywhere from regular labs. But but it became something in the core in Joomla 3.5. And man, there's so many uses for that. And of course, now you can do that in anywhere pretty much where there's an editor to put that code. Drag and drop images. Adding an image is now as easy as dragging and dropping it from your computer directly into the content. This works anywhere that you're using the default Tiny MCE WYSIWYG editor. You know, I don't do that because I don't know why I don't do that. I think I like to upload and have control where it goes and then and the name of it as well. But maybe, yeah, I've never. That is a feature I've never used, but it showed up in 3.5. And then we already clicked on this, and there's nothing there. So, all right, 3.5. 3.5, 3.6. 3.6 was released July 12th, 2016. So 7 years ago. And here are the announcements. Here's the announcement. All right, Joomla 3.6, the latest. More than 400 improvements, including many fixes, which make administration of Joomla websites easier and more feature-rich, as well as many UX user experience improvements. Okay, so what's new in Joomla 3.6? Joomla Update has been improved and now allows you to reinstall Joomla's core files at the click of a button, overwriting any modified files and reverting them back to the default. That's a great feature. Reinstall the core files, just like, what the heck is going on? Let's reinstall the core files just in case something, I've changed something that's broken things, or maybe, you know, you wonder, is this, is there a file that's wonky in my core installs? Oh, I wish I could just reinstall it. Well, instead of uploading and extracting or doing things, you could just reinstall it that way. A lot of UX improvements. Now you can find your modules faster, have tasks done by drop-down, improved user management, and so much more. With the new subform field function in Joomla 3.6, we added some extra additional functionality next to repeatable fields. Now you can nest XML forms inside each other or reuse your existing forms inside your current form. All right, so that's surprising. When did custom fields get added to Joomla 3? I thought we would have seen that note coming up. Does anyone remember that or can find that? Because that would have been a huge thing. Maybe that showed up in 3.4, whichever it was that had no list. Maybe it was that from the switchover. Does anyone remember? Oh, 3.9.3. 3.9.3. Rudiger thinks 3.7. Yeah, custom fields. I mean, here in 3.6, it's adding the new subform field function next to repeatable fields. So it seems to be there. Oh, Ivor says, Bjorn says 3.7. All right. So am I reading this wrong then? The subform field function next to repeatable fields? What does that? Huh? Interesting. All right. Well, we'll see when we get to 3.7. Menu type ACL, access control list. In the back end did not exist at the menu level. Now we have improved that. Give or block certain user groups access to a specific menu, and therefore also all menu items of that menu. That's a great feature. You know, to be able to have a menu appear only to a certain user group once they're logged in, that's some spicy good stuff. Okay, Michael says, all right, 3.7. So we're going to say, yeah, okay, you guys are right then. Maybe this subform field must be something else then. And see what's in your menus with all menu items. Oh my goodness. Wow. How did we ever live without all menu items? I use that all the time. Because like, hey, on sites that have tons of menus, it's like which menu or menu items, well, menus, it's like which menu do I go to find this menu item? You can view them all and filter. That is a great feature. Man, this is great. It's never been easier to spot duplicated links, missing menu items, or just get an overview of every menu on your site. Very, very cool. All right, and much more. To have a full list of the 3.6 features, visit our GitHub repository. Is there anything there? Yeah, this is for 3.6. Let's see if we can find anything. Anyways, that's probably good enough. Look for there because there's a full list there. Tons of stuff. And again, 31 pages that were happening there. Oh, here we go. Feature. Add logo layer, install language packages. Have Joomla play nice with reverse caching proxies. Move default logs directory. Oh, okay. Fix for user group column to users. Viewing access levels. Com cache, delete all. Multi-language, adding field menus. Michael says Joomla ACL was a lifesaver for him. Yeah, it's so powerful for in so many ways, and yeah, especially if you needed it, then that's good. Bootstrap toolkit, creating all menu dropdown. Yeah, we saw that. Add basic support for SAS, SCS files, and template manager. Enable disabled message in the system info export. Create a last visit date filter on the user list. Oh wow, that's cool. So you could filter to see the last visit of your users. Add htaccess authentication to transports. 2 new font options. Highlight section matches for code mirror. Add drop down tasks to com tags. JLayout for file field. Add drop down tasks categories. Implement the global text filter settings in TinyMCE. Okay, cool. Security thing there. Com modules. Add page menu item filter. All right, and that got added to a bunch of things. Add multi-language associated terms of service. Oh, Michael used to get tied in knots with htaccess. Yeah, I still get tied in knots with htaccess at times. Image contact category list. Add offline template as example. Implement ACL to backend menus. Oh, wow. Interesting. Oh, well, there's another big one too. ACL for the backend menus. So you could give people access to the backend but not see all the things. Yeah, ACL was a really big, it's so huge in Joomla. Add options to delete and rebuild update sites. Oh, that's interesting that's when that came along. I do that sometimes, especially now. And when you migrate from Joomla 3 to Joomla 4, it wants to find, I think it's the old web links. Or maybe install from web. Anyways, when you go to update, it says it's already included in the core. You have to just go and rebuild the update site, and then that problem goes away. Added toggle unpublished modules in menu item view. Oh, nice. So you could just unpublish a module with the toggle. That's nice instead of having to go in. Wow. Reinstall Joomla and update and install features. Reinstall Joomla. Oh, and update and install features. Okay, second try. Create categories on the fly in the news feed, contact, banner. and create new contact category from article edit form. Isn't that nice? Yeah. So that was 3.6. So when if you were writing your article and think, oh, I need to put this in a category. Oh, I didn't create that. I forgot. You can just type in the category and then go out and edit that category with the description. Keeping in mind too that when you do that, you might want to have your article unpublished when you save it and create that category, so a link doesn't get created or a path or something. Because if you want that category to be a subcategory of something, then you definitely need to you definitely don't want to have that published until you get that set up. But it does save a lot of time. Hey, remember when back in Joomla, was it 1.1 versions that there was categories and there was sections. And so if you wanted to have a dog category, you had to assign it to a section. So you ended up going at like a dog section, then a dog category, and then you have your articles. So that was well before 3. Plugin installation, feature, new field subform, JavaScript validation, code mirror plugin improvements. Right, and okay, some script stuff there. All right, that's Joomla 3.6. 1.5 was it with the sections and categories. Rudiger says. 3.7. 3.7 released April 25th, 2017. Announcements. There we go. One of the biggest new features of this release is the ability for administrators to add custom fields to articles, users, and contacts, and extension developers to use this feature within their own custom Joomla extensions. With 15 different field types, you can now easily structure more complex content entry forms, allowing your content authors to easily enter their data in a standard manner whilst displaying it consistently to your site visitors. So this was the end. I don't want to say the end, but this is a real pivotal point in the history of Joomla, because up until this point, there was a lot of customization that you had to use third-party extensions for, and I'm still using those third-party extensions for that. But if you wanted to have fields or set up custom things and store data and have it entered, you couldn't do that in the core. And so we saw CCKs that had been around for a long time, because you really could not. Now Joomla 3 you could do this, but it was really hard to have a blog. It was really hard to do a bunch of things in Joomla that you wanted to, and those third-party extensions brought that ability to it. But custom fields is a huge thing that rendered a lot of that unnecessary. Now, having said that, custom fields have to be set up and used and learned, and so when you're using these other extensions that are that are still around and that do those things is perfectly legit and understandable and great for users. But this is huge, and it for those who create anyway. So this is a huge jump, huge. For those who need to create multilingual sites. Michael says K2. Yeah, K2 is an example of one that now is, you can do everything in Joomla that you want to with that. There's people, EasyBlog is another one. I have one client who uses K2, and there are a ton of comments that are assigned to articles. It's a funeral home, and the memorials are K2 items. And people commenting on those are the people commenting on those memorials. I don't want to lose that. There's years of stuff there. I'm not sure how. I know how to export the K2 items into Joomla Core, but I would lose everybody's comments on that. So I actually am open that if K2 comes out with a J4 version and I can keep those comments and everything together, I will keep that site on K2. Just because I don't want it to, I just don't want that history to be lost. If I can't do that, or I can't keep the comments linked to it, then we will. I'll have to see what happens. But it would be a shame to lose those comments for people. I'd have to archive the site somewhere. Still, I think I would, just so that people can still see them and keep that. I guess keep the Joomla 3 site going as long as possible. So, Michael says he used Cross-Stack Content Builder to make a user blog with separate logins. Yeah, so yeah, there's lots of different ways to attack that. All right, for those who need to create multilingual sites, the process to translate your content just got significantly easier. The Multilingual Associations component allows you to easily translate your content from one single unified interface. You can find out more by reading, and there's an article there. Anyone creating new content articles that require a new menu item can now save time with the new improved workflow features. You can now create a category, article, and menu item in one step from within the menu manager. So we saw that you could create a category inside an article. You can now, as of 3.7, you could create a menu item, and then also, and if you're creating a menu item that links to an article that doesn't exist, you could then go in and create that article. You can even go in and edit it as well. You can now create a category, article, and menu item in one step from within the menu manager. Another added menu related benefit for those sites where different levels of user access, the backend administrator area of the site is the ability to customize the admin menu with the new backend menu manager. Now you can create custom menus for the backend just like you can for the front end, allowing you to control what users can see, which admin menu options. So you add the front menu, in the back is like, oh, I wish I could add some menu items here, change this or work. And that was added in Joomla 3. Okay, another the release also brings a number of new enhanced features specifically for developers. 3.7 brings improvements within the update, caching, and package extension management systems, as well as a host of other under-the-hood advances. Joomla 3.7 is the 8th and latest release in the 3 series. Please note that going from 3, 6 to 7 is one-click update, blah, 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 blah. Do more tiny mice. I call it tiny mice, tiny MCE. Including new buttons to easily add menu links and contacts, and many other improvements. Easier extension maintenance prevent administrators from accidentally uninstalling needed extension package elements. User experience. Okay, so your user experience is improved thanks to the display of your global settings, a flatter back-end template, the possibility to share your session between front-end and back-end, and a number of other minor UX improvements. So there's a change to the back-end template. I forget. I did not know that happened. If I had known that, I would have installed an older version of Joomla 3 to see what it looked like before that happened. I kind of just assumed that it was always looked like that. All right, so security issues that they've changed. There's one-click update. Always important update. I thought I saw a note here about Hather. Oh, if you're using the Hather backend template, you should switch to the ISIS template as your administrative template. The Hather template is being deprecated and may not provide you with the ability to use all the latest features in Joomla 3.7. Okay, so there's Hather and ISIS for the backend, and that was when Hather was deprecated, and they just went with ISIS. All right. Imran says Joomla ACL is a nice feature if you can use it properly. Yeah, if you can use it properly. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Still getting my head around it. All right, let's do this. That takes care of 3.7. 3.8. Release September 2017. Yeah, this is the... yeah, okay. So, announcement. 300 improvements with two primary major features aimed at developers. All right, here are some new features. New routing system. The new routing system gives users more control over their URL structure, including the often requested ability to remove IDs from URLs. Ah, that's a big one. All right, so if your article ID in the database is 123, your URL is going to be /123 title, or the article title, or alias. And here finally there was the option to remove those numbers, which creates a dilemma for everybody who's got their URLs with numbers in them. How you don't want to just change because all your URLs change and break, so you're kind of stuck with that. But there have been, and there are things now in Joomla 4, for instance, I think 4SEF has a setting that will automatically take the article ID out of a URL, and so you can sort of get rid of those if you want to. Joomla 4 compatibility layer. Imran says both Cross-Tech Content Builder and Breezing Form are awesome. Once he was a good fan of them, you can make virtually any purpose website with a combination of those two extensions. Cool. Yeah, there's so many different ways and things that you can use to make a Joomla site. All right, so Joomla 4 compatibility layer. All right, now let's pause and have a little chuckle, because this is in 2017, and of course Joomla 4 came out. This is 2023. Came out 2 years ago. 2021. So 4 years. 4 years before this, the Joomla 4 compatibility layer was made. Oh, it's made some changes in how the core code is structured by core code is structured by migrating classes to use PHP namespaces. Joomla 3.8 includes a mapping layer to allow developers to use the older class names while being able to take advantage of the new class structure. All right, so they are already making plans for a Joomla 4 compatibility layer for things. Imran says nobody talks about those two extensions of Joomla anymore. So, Joomla 4 compatibility layer, that's for programmers. Improved sample data installation. It is now possible to install sample data within your site backend after finishing the installation process. You used to have to do that as an option when you're installing, and if you forgot that or didn't, you might think, oh, I wish I could go back and do that. So it allows users to create their own generic data sets or extension developers to provide easy to use install sample data for their extensions. Cool. So you could put, so extension developers could have their own sample data to go into things. All right. We recommend upgrading to PHP 7 or 7.1, as will be a considerable speed boost, and further requirements can be found on the technical page. Some security issues fixed, and that is 3.8. We're getting there. 3.9 released on, no, 3.9's got a lot there. 28 subversions. All right. October 30th, 2018. Here's the announcement. It's a good day for Joomla project. 3.9, the Privacy Tool Suite, marking the 10th minor release in the 3X series. What's new in Joomla 3? Privacy Tool Suite by Joomla. User consents. Make light work of data privacy requirements. Need users to consent to your privacy policy and or terms and conditions. Joomla 3.9 is handled automatically. Simply and easily set up your core forms to request consent. So the privacy tool shows up in Joomla 3.9. User information requests. Easy peasy. So extension capabilities. Put your users in the picture when it comes to privacy. User action logs. Know who's done what and when. If you want to know what administrative actions have been performed on your site, you can look you can see that in the user logs. That's a cool thing. That is also a cool thing too, because when the clients for whom I am managing sites, I tell them that you can see what's happening and what's being done on the site in there. Michael, my comment to Imran there. Yeah, both well ahead of their of the field. Took a long time to get forms to J4. All right, Imran says to update 3x to 310, you have to update to 3x less than 8, then to 3.9 and up. Please avoid any version less than J3. I can't see because there's a heart covering it. Then any version less than J3 something to direct to 3.9. Yeah, there's a little bit of stepping you need to do. I know when I see Joomla sites that are like 3.6.5, there's an update to get them to a stepping place along the way. Joomla 3.9 is about more than privacy. Content management made fast and easy. Add notes to your articles in the backend and filter them. That's really nice. I think notes is still a very underused feature. I remember to put notes in there sometimes, but I think it's very underused and a powerful organizing tool. A new search feature in the backend. Search for specific article content. Nice. Load a module by ID into your article. Okay. A repeatable custom field is now available. Create alternative layouts to fit your needs. Okay. Make some layout overrides. Display the intro or full image in your newsflash module. Show only the articles from a specific author in your latest articles module. That's pretty cool. Another source of filtering. That allows you to have articles by a certain author, and then you have the latest articles displayed just for them by assigning it to their page. A new toolbar button to edit associations. Multilingual sites. Propagate existing associations. Use Google Invisible reCAPTCHA on your website. A nice addition. And Argon 2ID password now supported. And what are they recommending for PHP upgrade to PHP 7.1? All right, so there we go. October 2018, 3.9, and there was a lot of stuff. And here we have July 6, 2021. So that 3.9, we had that from October 2018 to July 2021. That's like almost 3 years. That was a long time that 3.9 was there. And why don't we just for fun, let's look at this announcement for 3.928. What's in there? It's a security fix. And 15 bug fixes. So there's a lot of security fixing and bug fixing for 3.9. Now, this is kind of interesting because I remember the excitement and the happiness of these new versions coming along and new features coming along. And so it's nice. So now when I comment and say, oh man, 3.9, we had that for almost 3 years, 2 3/4 years. You kind of think, wow, that's a long time. But there's the move on right now, and things are set in Joomla to put out new releases more often, like big releases, like going from 3 to 4, and then 4 with Joomla 5 coming out in I think like October. And I have, looking at this, I have mixed feelings about that because I like the new shiny stuff, but I also realize that you can have that it throws people off especially in their mindset that every time Joomla changes, there's a ton of work to do. Update versus migration. And so, but I can also see too where having a lot more releases makes it easier to pump out or add some new big features. Maybe not like tons and tons of new features, but one new feature that you like, or that is being added. So, yeah, so seeing this, I think, wow, that's a long time without any changes for big features. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Myself, I'm just going with the flow. When Joomla 5 is released, we'll be here making videos and looking at it and talking about it and saying to people, just like we say, Joomla 3 will work for a while, we can say, hey, Joomla 4 to 5 is not a big deal. It's just a bump up in some things, and here's what was taken care of. Don't worry, you can just update it. Yeah, so we'll be here. But I do, it's been interesting because some of the people that have contacted me for help with migrating their sites, I can see that, there's such a range of skill level and ability in using Joomla 3, or in Joomla 3 and Joomla 4, just Joomla altogether. All of us here watching this live stream probably Joomla is a passion for us, and has changed our lives, and we've found community with each other, and we really like it. But there are people that are actually just using it for a tool and aren't part of the community, and they don't want to be Joomla experts. They just want to be able to use their website. So they don't understand some of the issues and some of the reasons why some things are decided. And if that is, if you already are busy in your life, change becomes a source of frustration. And when we're frustrated by something, we want to do something different to get rid of it. And that's why you'll see in some people's lives, they have frustration with something. They can't change it, but there's something else that's not as important, or it's a lesser thing that frustrates them. They are on that right away because they just need to feel that they're making some change, even though it's the other source of frustration that they can't do anything about, that's really making them unhappy. So it is what it is, and we're just going to keep navigating along with what it is. And there you go. Discussion here. Mary says content builder has huge potential, but every time you tried to use it, you had to go through the tutorial, so not intuitive for you. Do you know if Joomla 4 release is planned? You guys are still talking about the content builder from CrossTech. Okay. All right, so we're in 3.9 for a long time now. Here is Joomla 3.10. Look at this. Today is the last day. This is going to be a green bar, everybody. It's going to be red, and support for bugs has ended, and it's still available. Of course, all these are available. You can download them. But tomorrow, this is going to be a red bar, and we're just going to have the 4.2. 4.2? This is, this is not being updated. We need a 4.3 in here. But anyways, let's take a look at 3.10. 3.10, and let's go there. 3.10, 11 releases, released on August the 17th, 2021. So 2 years ago today. And let's see the announcement. The announcement is this. Let's celebrate today's important day for Joomla. We're celebrating our 16th birthday. That's tomorrow. That will be our 18th birthday. Oh my goodness. Joomla is sweet 18 tomorrow. Sweet 16. What's 18? 18, it's got some adjective with it, right? Joomla 4 is here. We're proud to announce the release of our new major version, Joomla 4, alongside Joomla 3.10, known as the Bridge. I never heard of it called that, but all right. Joomla 3.10 is a bridge version to Joomla 4. And how can I upgrade my site to Joomla 4? Okay, we've talked a lot about that. Joomla 3.10 helps with the transition to Joomla 4. It's a bridge between the two major series. Joomla 3.10 stable is primarily a release containing backports of API changes from the Joomla 4 to help ease the transition to the next major release for the community. Joomla 3.10 will be supported with security patches until August 17, 2023. That is tomorrow. Can I update my website from 3.9 to Joomla 4 stable? Yes. Wow, that's a bold statement. We know it's a lot of work migrating sites. Unless you have a very core site. Hey, you know what? The other day I had someone contact me about a site, and I looked, and they're using B's template, but it looks to me like they have everything else core. There might actually there might be a PayPal module that they're using. But other than that, it looked like pretty core. So I told them, they have a bit of work to do with redesign with the template because the module positions have changed for the default template. So, Joomla 3.9, update to 10, migrate to 4. It will work if you have everything purely core. There's no direct update path between 3.9 and 4x planned. So you can go 3.9 to 10, of course. And then there's a bunch of stuff about Joomla 4. So 3.10, we didn't really have anything super big and exciting like tags or fields or such as that. But that was 2 years ago. Now let's just see what's the latest. Hey, 3.10.11. Oh, 3.10. This is not being updated because 3.10.12 is out. So it's a little bit behind. 3.10.11, August 16th, 2022. Oh, that must be its end of life. Let's just see this announcement. August 16th, 2022, a year ago, is when 3.10.11. Oh, yeah, of course, there's not been much happening with 3.10.11. That's right. What's new in 4.2 for... Yeah. So 3.10 has just been a bit of just like they said, a bridge. All right, now, well, so that's the history of Joomla 3. Man, a lot. Some really cool big features, some really nice smaller features, tons of bugs, tons of security things, and so that's been great. Joomla 3, it's funny. I did a funeral yesterday, and so as we talk about Joomla 3's end of life, it's very different than a funeral. This is not a funeral for Joomla 3 because people are going to continue to be using it. There's so many extensions out for it. But it is a milestone, and I think that as a community and as friends, it's good for us to just take a moment, even though we're going to be working on Joomla 3 sites for a long time and helping people with them, and there'll be sites that are still quite art ready to migrate and processes. It's good to just stop and look back, and we're looking back on 10 years of a lot of really cool things. Is something that we're all very passionate about, and again, just to be grateful. So I'm grateful for Joomla. I am grateful for all the people who are programming and contributing to it and testing and have ideas and are helping people and are coming up with new ways to do things, who are resources in the community to help with people that we can call on, this is a time of transition. We see, I see when on sites that I'm looking at to help people migrate, Discover Every now and then, another company that is not offering their product. One the other day was a comment extension, and there's been no release since 2015. So it's not just Joomla 4 changing, it's people's businesses, it's people making decisions, it's people retiring, it's people passing. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on in this ecosystem, in this community. But yeah, this has been a fun look back. Ivor says he hopes migrating from 4 to 5 is easy. There's an article in the Joomla magazine, about that it was easy. Someone testing out the alpha or beta or whatever version of it. Michael says 10 years. You haven't changed a bit, Tim. Yeah. If we look at pictures from me 10 years ago, my beard is a lot darker, but I appreciate that, Michael. Bjorn says, supposed to be just an update, only need PHP 8.1 or PHP 8.2. Yeah, because I think PHP 8.0 is it end of life coming up in December? Imran worked a lot with J3, lots of experience and fun. Imran, yeah, PHP 8.2 still risky for many Joomla extensions. I agree with that. All right, well, thank you, Joomla 3. Thank you, everybody who's worked on that. And will we see a 3.10.13? Who knows? Now, let's take a look at this page that I had, Joomla usage statistics. You know, when you say yes to the usage of Joomla, we can see who is using Joomla. Yeah, Imran's right. Tim's beard has changed. As I said, all right, so since Joomla 3.5, a statistics plugin will submit anonymous data to the Joomla project. This will only submit the Joomla version, PHP version, database engine, and version and server operating system. The graphs marked as recent shows only the stats for the last 180 days. All right, so this data is collected to ensure future versions of Joomla can take advantage of the latest database and PHP features without affecting significant numbers of users. The need for this became clear when a minimum of PHP 5.3 was required when Joomla 3.3 implemented the more secure bcrypt passwords. We are making this data publicly available through our public API, but here we will be providing graphs representing the Joomla version, PHP version, database engines of sites, and interests of transparency to the community to help third-party developers. There you go. Michael, the king of emoticons, finds a Tim Davis. I think that's a full beard. I have had a full beard at some time. All right, so Joomla version stats. Let's just see. I'm going to have to do some mousing over. So red, 3.9, 3.8. Where do we start here? 4, 3.10. All right, I'm just going to figure this out here. This must be for live stats, because, all right, so let's go here, 4.3. All right, so 6.8% of Joomla sites are using 3.10. 11% are using 3.5. 22% using 3.6. 7%, I'm just going to rough numbers, are using 3.7. 17 using 3.8. 26% are using 3.9. The biggest, the most people using Joomla are using 3.9. And then we see 3% of Joomla sites are running 4, 1% running 4.1, 2 running 4.2, and just under 2 running 4.3. Interesting. PHP versions being run. Let's look at this sliver here. Oh, 8.2. Oh, that 0.6% on 8.2. 5.3. 5% still running on 5.3. 5.4, 7%. 8.5 running 5.5. 25% running 5.6. That's the biggest. So the biggest, okay. 7, PHP 7, 11%. 7.1, 7%. 7.2, 9%. I hope it's not driving me crazy me round those numbers the way I am. And 7.3, 8%. 7.4, 10%. PHP 8, 3. 8.1, well, almost 4 for that. 8.1 is 2. 8.2 is 0.6. Yeah, that surprises Michael's. That surprises you. Which one surprises you, Michael? The 26% running 3.9, or the 25% still running on 5.6? I mean, 5.6. I don't think you can run 3.9 on 5.6, but you can run the what did we see here? Oh, the low number of 4. Yeah. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how these go. Now this is almost like overall. You say both, yeah. Database type: MySQL, MySQL 8, MySQL PDO. Oh, MySQLi. There's the type. Yeah, Mary says she's not surprised. She still runs into people using Joomla 1.5. Yeah, I'm just having someone right now migrating from 2.5 to 3 to 4. But yeah, there's still some out there. Almost a little worrying. Oh, the lack of 4. Yeah. Is it worrying? I think there's another graph we can pull up and look and see about that. And let me just Google this here. Let's see. CMS share. And that would be, I think it's W3 Techs. Market share for all everyone here. So look, here's WordPress. This is in the last 12 months. And I think somewhere we can find a link here. Well, let me post that. Let me post that link for you here. Bjorn, lots of work coming in the next years, you think? Yes, Bjorn, I agree. There are a lot of Joomla websites to be migrated. Yes. And I like that perspective, Bjorn, to see that there's lots of work to be done. Now, if you mean by lots of let's see. Oh, Mary says your new client found out she had 1.5 when her host shut her down. Whoops. Womp womp. Yeah, well, that's going to happen, especially when hosts start dropping the PHP. Like I run all versions of PHP on my server. I make them available to clients. I've got some custom stuff not related to Joomla that they're using. But yeah, to find and it was need the lower PHPs. But yeah, to find out that have your host just shut you down, that's pretty stark. But a lot of those hosts send out notices, and people think, oh, I'll do that later and deal with it later. So Bjorn says lots of work coming in next year. Bjorn, if you're talking about work for clients and for those of us that are living from Joomla or making some side money or that, yes, lots of work. And Michael says, let's hope they all move to J4 and not another CMS. Yeah, so let's find where we can find individual CMSs here. It's always kind of tricky to find this here. But we can look at Joomla. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.4, 2.5, 2.7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 6. So there has been an increase in Joomla of 0.1% in the last year. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's a report on Joomla right here. Let's see. All right. So get all the information about Joomla in an extensive report. Oh, order here. Oh, look at that. You can get a monthly report for 499 euros. Well, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. Or a year, $23.99. Joomla market report order form. Let's look at the generic one here. I know there's a graph somewhere. I know that there is an individual graph somewhere. Joomla. Oh, I found it. Okay, so you had to go to the reports, find it, and go back. All right, so here's the Joomla graph here. So this is historical trend, August. And again, this is just minor percentages here. So there was a jump here. And now there's a sort of a trailing off of market share there. But yeah, Michael, we're just going to have to see. We're just going to have to see. 2% or 1.7% or whatever is not, it's still a lot of sites. And I know in the big picture, I mean, that's sort of like whistling in the dark, right? But there's lots going on, and we're just going to keep plugging away with it. It's the horse I brought to the dance. To mix my metaphors there. But all right, so let's see here. They say that version 3, people using Joomla, 82.6% are using Joomla 3, 10% still using 2, 7.3% using 1, and 0.2% using version 4. But using Bjorn's comment there, I think that if people are looking for help and find out that their site needs to change or that they need to update, coming alongside, and there's people that you can pick up and help as clients who maybe are looking to just keep their content or just looking for something. They might be open to switching to something different, but they might also be as equally open to staying with Joomla if there's someone that gives them hope and good help. So, yes. So here's Joomla, used by low traffic sites, used by many sites. So Joomla is still above Squarespace or Wix in low traffic sites. But still a bit behind Squarespace and Wix in that. So popular sites using Joomla. Hey, look, Joomla.org uses that. Random selection of sites using Joomla. Hey, that's randomly. Visit these. Oh, this shows information about a site. Hey, I wonder if I'm in here. Cybersalt.com. All it does is show title, description on the home page. No information about that. Okay. Mood Tools 1.5. Yes, Imran, Joomla's been winning prizes for the last 6 years. When you take a look at some of the classic car shows that take place in the summertime around here and anywhere else in the world, there's some unique cars with devoted fans and listen, if you're okay if you're a person who's okay with not being number one in the world, then Joomla is great. If you need to be number one, then yeah, Joomla is not the horse you're looking for. Sites using Joomla only recently. University of Crete. Why don't we just take a look at that? And there it is, the University of Crete. And let's take a look at the view the page source. Apple icon, templates, basic CSS, yeah. Color, and we can always go to /administrator. Page not found. Oh, they even have it protected. Good for them. Michael says he won a coconut once and his daughter was most impressed. Imran says, Joomla is gradually proceeding that target, and I'm hopeful about that. What target is that? Imran being number one? Let's see. And that's, we also have random selection sites using Joomla. Popular sites using Joomla. Folka.cz. Is there any statistics that show which CMS is hacked more often than others? Yeah, I think Security probably has something like that. Which CMS is hacked most often? It'll be a Security report. And here's 2019. 27 hacking statistics. Let's see. No, that's not what we're looking for. Let's go to security. This is security's 2019 report. Let's see if they have a 2022. There you go. Download a PDF. Before we look at that, let's just take a look at the Joomla version stats recent. Okay, remember these are the stats. These are like overall, so maybe recent stats gives us a better idea of what's going on. And this, what did we read up here, is showing the last 180 days. So in the last 180 days, 43% of sites are running 3.10. All right. Half a percent, 3.5, 3.6. Are these like new installs? 3.7, 3.8, 3.9. That's a big one. 4.1. The 12% in the last 180 days, being 4.2, and that's 4.3. So this would probably be new sites, which surprises in the last 180 days. It surprises me because that means 43% of people are starting a Joomla 3.10 site with that. Maybe they're using quick installers. Who knows? The graphs marked as recent shows only the stats for the last 180 days. So in the last, okay, so this is the last 180 days, what's being used. All right, so this is all time. This is what's being used in the last 180 days in the Joomla ecosphere. All right. Michael says that's probably a lot to do with user error on setup. Yes. On Ivor's quoted that there. Oh, Ivor. WordPress 95%, Joomla 1.9, Magento 7, Drupal 6, OpenCart 4. Oh, the hacking, yeah. Yeah, and that was that one page that I didn't read fully. Talks about how the number one cause of being hacked is user error. Yeah. In the last 180 days, PHP 5.4, 5.5, 5.6, 7, 7.1, 7.2, 7.3 is like 5%, 7.4, 33%, 8, 24%, and 17% for 8.1. And type MySQL, PDO, and just MySQL. Very thin sliver there. All right, here's the security report. 50% of all CMS applications were outdated at the point of infection. The most commonly detected vulnerable components included out-of-date versions of Contact Form 7. That's a WordPress thing. Freemius Library and WooCommerce. Almost 70% of compromised websites were found to have at least one backdoor at the point of remediation. Now, I wonder if their numbers are off. I mean, of course, there's more WordPress sites, so there's going to be more WordPress sites hacked. But I think security probably ends up doing a lot more WordPress stuff as well. Could be wrong. But 38% of all SEO spam infection contains spam doorways to manipulate search rankings. 29% belong to unwanted SEO link injections for spammy websites. 23% of compromised websites contain at least one hack tool. Malicious WordPress admin users were found in 32% of infected websites. 90% of credit card skimmers were found in the form of malicious PHP code, making them impossible to detect with external scanners, and highlighting the importance of server-level monitoring. Imran needs to go. Have a good sleep, Imran. Have a good day. The most common infection found during remediation was malicious allow-deny rules in htaccess files associated with Japanese SEO spam. Interesting. 36% of all compromised websites had at least one vulnerable plugin or theme present in the environment at the point of remediation. Data used in this report is a representative sample of the total number of websites that our remediation team performed services for throughout the year. This includes 43,000 websites cleaned by our incident response team and 106 million remote site check scans from January to December 2022. So they have a service where they're monitoring. Okay. Infected websites platform distribution. There you go. 96% WordPress, 1.9% Joomla. You know what? Joomla has the same market share. The number of hacked sites, infected websites, is the same as the market share of Joomla. WordPress's infected site rate is way higher. I think this is probably because of more general users that aren't keeping things up to date. Yes, and Rudiger, that's a good point. Because there are more WordPress sites, that's who you're going to go after. If you're breaking into houses and you know there's 75% of houses use a certain type of lock, and you look for hacks for it, then you're going to focus on that. So it just makes sense. Because criminals are often good at their job. Not all of them. Some of them are pretty dumb, but criminals are pretty... The criminal mind is not a dumb mind in many cases. There's lots of dumb criminals, but there's people very methodical. Hey, let's focus on all this opportunity and not specialize. So that's a very good point. Vulnerable software. Okay, so outdated infection CMS distribution. So interesting. vBulletin, PrestaShop, both at 100%. OS Commerce. What is OS Commerce? Is that... is PrestaShop gone? Is that why it's just 100% hackable? No, these are... Here, it says Joomla. WordPress. So WordPress has a slightly less infected CMS distribution than Joomla. PHP BB, Drupal, Magento. So it looks like the more these are not getting updated, so they're outdated. All right, vulnerable components. Contact Form 7. The top software with vulnerabilities. I think these are all. I think that these are all for. They're all WordPress ones. I mean, there's advanced custom fields, but I don't think. I think that's in WordPress. Top malware family distribution. Malware, backdoors, SEO spam, hack tools, phishing, defacements, mailers, droppers. Notable malware campaigns. Hey, this is the awards for that. Ballader, Injector, Sock Galosh. Yeah, very old web shop software. Oh, OS Commerce. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I sounded okay. So these are, yeah, those are probably sites still being run that maybe there aren't even updates for them. Unsuspecting users who download and install these binaries aren't knowingly installing a Trojan. Update Chrome. They get you to fake browser updates. Interesting. Fake Cloudflare verification variant. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So here's some things that are tricking people. Site check skimmer distribution by CMS. Oh, look at that. Joomla didn't even make that. Okay. Credit card skimmer file locations. Common injections. Malware's found in the header.php. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm a graph guy, so the type of backdoors. Yeah, this pretty much reads how WordPress is getting hacked. Impersonation of brands. Netflix, Discover, Delta Airlines, Adobe, Microsoft, PayPal. The most common PHP script was found in 7.8% of sites detected with a phishing page. This generic script is used in a wide range of phishing attacks. Okay, well, there you go. Well, it is what it is. Joomla 3, one last day before its end of life, and it is also what it is because, let me just, that. It is also what it is because here we are in Joomla. Our, so my perspective, for me personally, is I'm 57 years old. The work that I do, Joomla is awesome for, and also the support that I do is for people with Joomla sites. Should I diversify? Right now, I am not diversified, and right now I am super busy. I would also say that where I am in my Joomla journey and in my business, being full-time for coming up on 6 years now, is that new opportunities are coming along, and I try to stay open to them, just so that I can make it to the finish line, which is retirement. Do I? I have a friend who is also a pastor. Was also a pastor. He is retired from pastoring now, and he is looking for work. He has some. His wife is not. His wife is ill with with long COVID, and she recently had a fall and broke her wrist. So I want to get together with him and talk to him about web pages and doing it for a living. He's 62. He's at the point he needs to get a job. So obviously he's not just going to start doing web pages and do that full time. But the great opportunity that all of us have with our interest and knowledge of Joomla growing wherever we are at on the spectrum and where we have to get. I was in a conversation with some people, Joomla people yesterday, and there's a guy. He is like way ahead of me as far as the business that he's built and his experience. I mean, he's older than me too, but that was great. So we're all on the spectrum. I think that this is great for us because we can work from home. Some of you are working from offices. We can build and add to our business. All right. So even starting out small, even having 1 or 2 clients or doing what we can. In time, it is a source of income or extra income for us, whether that's a little bit on the side or a side hustle, or it becomes a full-time thing. So there's lots of opportunity, and that's why I liked Bjorn's comment earlier about lots of work to be done. So someone's starting out. I almost feel like my friend, I should encourage him. I almost feel like on one hand I should encourage him to start using WordPress or learning WordPress, because there's so much work for that. Just the hackers are hacking WordPress sites, trying to hack WordPress sites because there's so many. So there's lots of that. I can't help him with that. So I can give him the advice to start doing some web stuff on his own and work from home. I can be a resource to him if he wants to do Joomla. And Joomla is great. So, but as far as us making a living or extra money from it, here we are. It's what we're using, and I don't want to be the person that says, no, I don't want to change. I'm just going to ride this ship all the way down. I don't think that Joomla is sinking. Could it sink? Who knows? Who knows what could happen? All these, anything could happen. WordPress could get wiped out by something new that comes along. Is that likely to happen? No. Is Joomla likely to get wiped out from its 2% or 3%? I don't think so, but I don't know. Everyone, you got to make wise decisions on the eggs that you're putting in your basket and how many baskets that you have. But I will say this, like Bjorn said, I kind of feel like I'm rambling. There's lots of work out there to be done, and just start. Just keep adding, keep building, and who knows what will come along for opportunities. Let's see. Michael's got a coffin and a shopping cart. Oh, for OS Commerce. Michael. King of the emoticons. Ira says you never get as busy as when you pass retirement age. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that my goal, even I talk about the goal is to get to retirement. I would like I'm not looking to just stop working and stop doing Joomla stuff. I guess when I say retirement, my goal being retirement is reaching that point where, we retire from trying to make a living and being able to make a living. So, I'm not. I'll probably be working past 65. And I imagine that if I'm still alive, that I'll just keep working on web pages and whatever's along the way. But that said, what is Joomla going to look like in 7 years? Will it still be around? Will it be totally different? What is the web going to look like? Look at all the people with artificial intelligence is changing their jobs and replacing them. And who knows what could come along that will replace? We just have no idea. So, anyways, Joomla is great. I really like it. I am grateful for it, and for all the great things it's brought in my life. My friends, and my other Joomla friends, and working and being able to solve things and projects, and it scratches me where I itch. Mary says, self-hosted open source solutions where privacy matters. Joomla offers some complexities that others can't, and it can all be self-hosted. Yeah, exactly. Mary says retirement. Haha, good one. Oh, Mary, you were last week. You were at the fair and weren't here. I saw your comment. I just haven't replied to it. Did you take goats to the fair, and did your goats win? But yeah, so self-hosted. Yeah, classic point is this. Facebook in Canada is blocking the sharing of news from all news agencies, because the Canadian government has said to Facebook and to Google, you have to give a share of your income that you're making from those from sharing Canadian news content. You have to give a share of income to those news agencies. And Facebook said, no, we're not doing that. So now they've blocked them. So my local television station, which is actually I think it's the only independent television station in Canada, they have stories on the news telling people other ways that they can find them online. Why? Because they don't own Facebook and they don't own their Facebook stuff. And so if people have their if your website is not self-hosted, if you don't own your own stuff, then you have a vulnerability. So for instance, all my videos, all my channel on YouTube, something happens to YouTube, or YouTube makes a mistake, or I do something wrong and they ban me or something like that, I have no control over that. I could wake up tomorrow and it could be like, yeah, YouTube has decided that they're only going to support WordPress tutorials because it's the best. I would be hooped. I don't even know if I have a backup of all my videos. Where would I host them? So that is a selling point for Joomla. Self-hosted solution where people have control of their sites, and you say to them, hey, you got a backup of your own site regardless of whatever happens. No one can say no to you. You can just put it up somewhere else. So Michael says he thinks Joomla has a great future, and we all learn something new most days. Yeah, I agree. I'm positive about Joomla. My outlook is positive for it, and I don't need to be doing the number one, be number one. I just want to do good work. Mary was at the fair, no goats, but you did many years ago through 4-H. Be sure to let me know when you get a Rumble channel. Yeah, so a Rumble is I think I know what Rumble is. So the whole beginning of Watch Me Work live streams was because, who was it? I think it was Hio. That then we haven't seen him for a while. Said, hey, I should go on Twitch, and so I went on Twitch. And because I thought, if nobody's doing Joomla on Twitch, I'll go on Twitch. Maybe people will be on there. And it didn't work out. It was a lot of extra work. And so therefore, I just moved my live streaming over to YouTube just for time's sake. So I would go on other channels, but it would, I don't know. Mary, do you think there's a place for me on Rumble? Is there a place for me on other places? Like, I mean, and here's the thing. If you have a presence somewhere where there's a genus or a type of user, if no one's there, Hey, if there's no one has their shingle hung in town and you hang your shingle and it's the only one people are reading, you're gonna get work. So yeah, so it would be interesting. So for instance, let's say that there was a channel. Let's say there was a site for cat videos, cattube.com. There probably is, and you, I could go on there and say how I could show how to build web pages to show pictures of your cats. And I just had those tutorials there, then if there's dedicated cat people watching that and they think, hey, I want to do these tutorials the way this guy does them on CatTube, then you have some clients. You just have to ask yourself, do you want to have a lot of cat site clients? Maybe you're crazy for cats. Maybe there's GoatTube, and Mary's on there doing tutorials on GoatTube, and it's like, oh, I want to have my webpage. I want to build my webpage with someone who likes goats. If someone who likes goats, they get me. They get my goat. Then why not? So yeah, that is the challenge of, I guess, marketing, because maybe there may be places that you might not promote yourself because you don't want clients from that. Rumble is an online video sharing platform. It is often described as a conservative alternative to YouTube, as it has fewer restrictions on content, is more popular among right-wing users. You don't have controversial topics. Mary thinks I'm pretty safe. And as a marketer, you would use software that could point to different platforms. I think point. I've got the heart emoticon behind there. I'm going to throw a heart up here. So that could post. There we go. Clicked on a heart. I would use software that could post to different platforms. Yeah. Yeah, and I've thought about multi-streaming. Can do that. But, like even going to Facebook. But, yeah, my mind is full of constantly, as you all are, constantly learning new things. Go do something basic. Why isn't this working? You look into it. Yesterday, my wife came to me, Susan came to me with 3 t-shirts that I don't wear very often. They're nice t-shirts. One's blue, one's red, one's black. And she says, oh, there's not room in the drawers for these t-shirts. Do you want them? And it was sort of the beginning of my day, and mornings are not great for me anyways, but I looked at her and I just said, I don't want to use up my decisions on t-shirts right now, because I can only make so many decisions in a day, and then I'm done like dinner. So yeah, and I'm sure that we have all been there. All right, everybody, listen, right now, don't delay. Go into your pictures and send to tim@cybersalt.com. Send me a background. So so I have some other backgrounds to use. I guess I could do one of mine too. But if you were thinking about it, you just take 2 minutes, go into the folder where your camera pictures are synced up, and find something family friendly. I don't care if it's funny or weird or whatever like that, but family friendly that I can put as a background on here. That's all you have to do. tim@cybersalt.com. Ivor says it's too many options these days. You remember when you didn't have internet and mobile phones? Yeah, exactly. The iPhone. We were watching a movie on Sunday night from, I think, 2009. 2009. Yeah, that'd probably be close to it. And there was something going on, and I said to Susan, I said, yeah, you remember, this is before iPhones. So, yes. 1920 by 1080. Other than that, I have to do a quick resize, which is fine. Ivor's is actually, I wonder, can I do this real time? Let's see. Does this change? Whoops. Oh, that was moving it. Let's see. Yeah, so is that changed? See, when I change the background, I think you can see that right now, right? Is it changing as you watch? 1920 by 1080. So the one that Ivor sent me, I think, was about this big. And I just stretched it out Actually, when I stretched it out to the bottom, anyways, whatever worked. But I just resized it. So yeah, so you can see that. So yeah, 1920 by 1080 is the resolution that I'm streaming at. So that'll help. But you know what? Yeah, so that would be good. If it's bigger, I can make it smaller. But it might end up being cropped kind of funny. But yeah. Yeah, and I got to remember to set this up for the orange there. Anyways, everyone, thanks for that journey down memory lane. I enjoyed that. It was fun to look back at all the things that we got. I guess pretty soon 4.3.4 is going to be out, and that will be exciting. Things are coming along. 5, you know, we'll just keep track of it and do it all here together. And we will continue to enjoy our Joomla sites and figure this stuff out. Yeah, no maintenance Mondays for the last 2 weeks because I've been we had company, and then Monday night, I just ran out of gas. So yes, Michael, it was good fun. All right, everyone, thanks for your support of this channel. I'll find out where I'm going to click here to find the sad music. I suppose I could also, if it's, no, yeah, I'd have to be careful. I was going to say you could always send me royalty-free music, but I don't want to. I've got this music because it's offered by YouTube, and it's not going to get me any penalty strikes. So don't send me music for closing up because it'll maybe just get me in trouble. Anyways, everyone, thank you. Good night, Rudiger. Thank you, everybody, for watching and tuning in and staying to this point. Congratulations on the end of Joomla 3 and the bright future we have with Joomla 4. And that will wrap things up. So as usual, I hope that wherever you are, be it morning, afternoon, evening, or tomorrow, that this finds you well. Until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless.